Oh yeah, I fucking cut my hair. Forgot to talk about this. It's 10:19 p.m. on September 9th, 2018, and this is Reflections 008. And yeah, I'm excited to try out this series again differently. Last week, it was my first time doing it in 9 months. So just getting the rust out of the way, and now I don't have to worry about the intro and outro, and I just can fucking do it. So let's get right into it. Easily my favorite win of the week is the pop-up UI for cards. If you guys follow me on my socials, you'll see that I posted this on it one day. And these are sketches of pop-up UIs, and I'll explain what is going on here. So basically on Lists, this web application that I'm working on right now, just very, very simple concept of, actually I'm not going to explain it right now, but the idea of lists includes cards inside these lists, and ends up being like a grid of these little tiny cards. But if you click on a card, I want it to pop up with the image and the text at a larger scale and a focused version of it, essentially. So with that, it's easy to display text and it's easy to display an image, but together they can create a little bit of a complication. So I had to figure out ways of managing the two in the same area. So I ended up I was very confused, and I ended up just drawing. So actually, no, before that I was trying to do it in code, and whenever I do that in code and I start out in code, if I don't have a clear idea, that rarely ends well. I usually have to start out on paper, start sketching or something like this, get my thoughts out, and then really crystallize them in front of my eyes instead of trying to straight into the technical. That doesn't work well for me. So I was having a lot of challenges. So what I did is I did a non-material source energy medicine session on the challenge that I was having with the UI. So the confusion around the UI display. Did that, and then I hit the drawing board, if you will, literally, and started drawing out sketches of potentials. It's not as soon as I'm drawing one, I'm moving right on to the next, because I'm just trying to get as many random ideas out as I can and just come up with different variations, because if I can see them, then I can start to select them and manipulate them or remove them or whatever. I just need them out on paper so I can use them. Okay, so that's the clear part about that. And then I did enough, and I ended up doing this one, this one, this one, most of these actually, on this right here, because the point is having text as well, and it's maintaining centered. It also the image should stay on the screen at all times. It should not fall through like this one does, or this. It should always maintain its full visibility on the screen at all times, and that was the goal. And then having text as well, I wanted the text to be a little bit available to see. So this is the max, and then it starts overflowing, and then right there is the minimum if it was that small, and then it only takes up a little bit of space compared to this. This is exactly what fucking went down in the code. But even as I went to the code, I was having a challenge with holy, this is turning into a long ass thing. But anyways, so after that was done, I decided to go back to coding, and I was having now confusion on how I should manage this in code, and had some challenges, and then did another non-material session on the challenges with coding I was having around it. And then I went back, and it was oh, this solution is so obvious, and it was just very, very clear on what I was supposed to be doing. And then I did that today. I just finished that up, and it's it fucking works perfectly. I'm just bless non-material source energy medicine for helping me out with clearing resistance around and certain blocks and stuff like that around where I want to go. So helpful for that, or so thankful for that. It was so goddamn helpful. Love it. All right, so that was awesome. That was a huge win for me, and maintaining my perseverance as well as purposefulness, plus keeping my energy high, just works magic. Cards are now saving in in lists so I can edit them, and I'm watching the pop up with the values that already exist, and I can edit them. Full functionality with that, which is fucking beautiful. So reflections, I'll count that as a win because I had to redo the templates and all that jazz, and learn how to actually properly edit it. And it's okay of an edit, but it's just good to figure out how to do it good and make some progress with that. Yeah, I did lots of work on lists. It ended up being another really good week for lists. I'm really happy with how things came out, especially that UI and especially that editing. And we're headed in the right direction. We're so close to it being available. By the way, one thing to add to the UI I was talking about, there's a lot of calculations going on that when you use it, you'll be like, wait, it just seems so easy, except it's super not. There's I had to get hacky with it, and I don't really enjoy getting hacky if I don't have to. I'd rather just use pure CSS and not worry about JavaScript in terms of styling stuff. But I had to get a little hacky. I had to calculate the heights and the widths, and calculate if there's scroll and on the text and if it's overflowing, and what else did I have to do? I had to calculate if it's too short, the image, and if it's too there's just a bunch of random things going on at once, and it just makes me laugh because we all use the internet and we just take it for granted until you become a developer, and then you see the world completely different. That's the power of understanding the basics on a new subject, because once you open yourself up to a new subject, you start to see the world in a completely new lens, and you start to you don't take it for granted anymore, because you can realize holy shit, this is all that work that's going into XYZ project. For me, when I taught myself to code, I fully opened up a new world. You don't see things the same after you learn to code. You look at the software, but you don't see the software anymore. You see the code that goes behind it, and you start to think of things in code, and you just have a much greater sense of appreciation for what actually goes on behind the scenes, rather than just thinking about it as this magical thing that we use. Another massive non-material win, but I'm still not going to share it. Actually, it was a very big clearing session on myself. It was very profound, very magical, I think would be the word to describe it. It was fucking blue. It was beautiful. Can't speak apparently, and I hope to remember it forever, because it was that important to me. So, I started working on non-material source energy medicine in a real estate aspect. I think that is it seems, at least it feels, that is my next move in terms of how I shall make some money with this and really help some people get some results. And that fires me the fuck up to think about. So, very excited for that. I started trying to remove lazy words like, basically, essentially, so, stuff like that. I still do it to a high degree, but if I can stop myself more so in text, I think that's going to rub off on me in audio and in video and in real life. So, that said so. But, and then butta is also another one. Stuff like this, I have to reduce it because it's fucking irritating to me, for one. Secondly, it's just a waste of oxygen. It's gotta go. Oh yeah, I fucking cut my hair. Forgot to talk about this. This is my first video and podcast. Podcast. But I cut my hair. I used to have really long hair. It ended up being almost 11 inches long on the top. And it is a buzz cut now while we grow it out. So I'm going to go through that awkward stage, fully ready to embrace it. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing with my hair next, but hopefully it's glorious, because and it'll likely include curls, whatever it is, specifically on top. So we can guarantee probably curls on top. I might keep my side short. I might keep them long as my top. I don't know. I just know I have short hair right now, and I'm gonna figure it out when I get there. Listening to GIN audios while I work. Okay, so GIN, by the way, is a GIN, Global Information Network. It was a club I was a part of for a long ass time. And this is like also what got me into like the success mindset, if you will, the growth mindset, caring about purposefulness, goals, all that type of shit, okay? Anyways, the point is, listen to things while you work that you're comfortable with. And not so much comfortable, stuff that your brain is used to. When you're listening to new things, it is very hard to do another thing at once. I can listen to a song, if I've listened to a song 50 times and I play it in the background, my brain knows what's coming. So it doesn't have to try to identify what's going on. It can just flow with the song and I can focus on doing my work, whatever that work is. So it's like, that's a great reason to do song looping, is because your brain knows what's coming next and it can start to like work with it rather than trying to figure out all of the new patterns and everything. It's just like when we get into a flow or a pattern, the brain kind of shuts off. So, and you can like use these things as positive tools to like suck in your focus for the better. So with audios though, if you have listened to an audiobook 200 times or whatever, your brain knows what's coming. I mean, I can listen to this one thing called Your Wish Is Your Command. I've listened to it probably, I want to say 200 plus times, maybe more. It's been a shit ton, okay, whatever it is. And I can like start to like talk with the dude because I've heard it so many times. So I'm able to do mind intensive things like coding. And I mean, there are times where I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like I'm pausing you real quick so I can actually really, really focus. But generally speaking, I can like take that audio in the background, have it like positively program my mind, if you will, and get shit done during. And that is a great way of doing things. And I would like to try that next week because I haven't been doing that recently. I've been doing just a lot of dubstep in the background, which is great. But I also do want to add more audios. Making reflections even shorter. I agree. Thought looping. I'm so awful at thought looping. It's ridiculous. Like, I would love if I could actually all day just be like, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself in my brain. But I'm not really good at that. I just like usually thinking new thoughts for some reason or letting my mind wander. Not really sure why. It is such an awful habit. And I would love to fix that. Sketching more often and putting more ideas down. It's like I have, when I'm coding, for example, I have like things that pop up in my mind where I'm like, yeah, I should do that. But I don't write them down in that time that it's like fresh in my mind. And I start to like, my brain starts to create the code and all the functionality and everything, but I don't like write it down in that moment. And then if I don't do that, I mean, I'm not going to like forget it probably because I have a solid memory, but I don't want to have to make it harder on myself for if I do forget it in the future. So it's like in that moment, it's all fresh. It's all very ready to go. I should write it down. I should sketch and I should just get it out so my brain can work on other things. You've just got to make space for your brain. It's just like, I don't even know what a good example is, but the point is, give your brain space so I can work on new problems instead of holding on to things it's already solved. Less momentum and more pauses in my exercises. At times I can find myself very like swinging, if you will, like lateral raises, like, huh, huh. So, and for on audio right there, it's just less than ideal form where I'm like using momentum. And ideally I pause at the bottom and top. And I did this with incline bench, and I went down a rep. Fuck. But so my ego says fuck, and my soul is like, yes, my soul. But the point is just, okay, so maybe not my soul, but I feel like it's the right thing to do. And less momentum, more actual strength. Yeah, I was just thinking today, I'm super grateful that I was thinking back to hockey days and just visualizing being in the change room ahead of time and just thinking about that anticipation feeling that I'm like, I just want to hit the fucking ice. That was the feeling always. I just wanted the game to start. I just want to get on the ice and put fucking pucks in the net and win, okay? Like, that's all I wanted. And that, like, feeling of that, let's just close the gap already is how I feel in the mornings. And I'm just very grateful that I am able to feel that on a daily basis. And I feel like many people are like, I don't want to do X, Y, Z, da, da, da. I love confronting shit, and I love doing the work. Most people are like exhausted by it. I am intoxicated by it. It's absolutely amazing. It's so fucking nice, man, just to be on purpose and do the fucking work. Like, I'm not sure there's a better feeling. It's one of the fucking best by far. Period. End of fucking story. At least for me. Here's a super nerdy lesson. If something doesn't exist in the database, it'll insert it, and if it does exist, it'll update it. And that's called upserting. And I'm not really sure if that brought anyone value, but I just learned that this week, and I thought it was pretty cool. Cutting my hair really showed me how much of creatures of habit we are. I caught myself doing so many little things it was just like, I thought my hair still existed. The way I was headbanging when I was fucking listening to dubstep. It's like I was trying to still act like I had hair, so I was like trying to make sure it didn't like go in my face too much. And like when I was putting on my shirt, I had to like give myself extra space as I was putting it on for my hair so it didn't like pull. When I went like this in the shower, or when I did this, I'm like fully expecting I would do this so it didn't touch the top part when I did that. And then but like I have hair, or I don't have hair now. So it's like it just showed me how much of creatures of habit we are. We are so our habits. It's insane. This is like literally applicable to any fucking area. We are our habits. Train them accordingly. Let's get meta for a second. Test your audio and test your video before you shoot. Last week, if you noticed, the fucking audio is garbage. And that was because I didn't test it ahead of time. So I realized fucking my settings were so fucked, it was not even funny. Like, they were so bad. It was like the scratchiest, loudest thing I've ever heard. It was really nice though when I heard the dubstep playing in the background. It's just really high quality stuff. So, what the fuck am I talking about? So, simple thing. First of all, video on the iPhone, if you're going to be recording with an iPhone, press and hold on the lock. So there's a little bit of focus in and out last week. And if you press and hold on the screen, it'll start to lock after about 2 seconds. So you don't have that like in and out, unfocused, focused type of thing. And maybe you do like, you just hold up an item. Maybe it's not this, maybe more like this. And you just make sure it focuses on where you're going to be. And then press play, good to go. And of course, test out your angles, test out your audio to make sure it all works. And you're fucking golden. And then we can hit reflections like we did today. Bulgarian split squats. Don't put your knees over your toes. I was doing this. I fucked up. Now I'm changing it. And make sure you're fully using your front leg, because the back leg, I mean, there's a little bit of back leg, I guess you can be using, but the point is use as much as the front leg as possible. I was having some struggles with single leg calf raises. So I'd get up on one leg and I would do calf raises. Pretty simple. However, my calves are fucking garbage. So it didn't end up working too well. And instead what I did is this week I decided to do double calf raises and double the reps. So I was getting an equal, or at least I think an equal type of load here. So I did 3 sets of 26 calf raises with body weight, and my fucking calves burned so hard after. They're killing me right now. And yeah, they're fucking really weak. They have some work to do, that's for sure. But we're getting there. I really, really have to get better calves. It's a must. Same with my quads and glutes and shit like that. It's gotta be improved upon for sure. I already talked about this a little bit earlier, but when in doubt, address a challenge with NMSEM. Like that UI challenge I was talking about just really reminded me of the power of just addressing a challenge, transforming a challenge, and just working with that once your subconscious is ready to go. And it's not just about the subconscious. You also have to work on the conscious side of the fence. So that's why I fucking did this. I wasn't like totally clear after, but once I hit the page and started doing conscious work, the subconscious and the conscious are working together, and that's when fucking magic happens, okay? So that was fucking great. It's not always about work all the time. It's instead about being on purpose. Like last night I wasn't working on a specific work thing, but I felt like I was doing the right thing and I was just paying attention to how I was feeling. This is the most important thing. You can sit there and try to rationally think about what you're doing and try to figure out if it's the right thing. Yeah, that's great. Fucking do that all you want, but I choose to tap into my intuition. I choose to tap into what my gut thinks. Like this shit can feel things on a different level than, at least this is my belief, that it's tapped into something greater than logic can access. So for me, I want to remember that it's not always the right move to be taking action on work. Like, yes, taking action on work is fucking awesome and it feels great, but there are other things, and just paying attention to how I'm feeling and knowing when it is the right move to not, and to instead do something else. And yeah, just pay attention to feelings, man. Pay attention to gut, and these things will lead you in the right direction. Just ignore the logic, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but yeah, logic can only take you so far. Intuition is unlimited. Shit's worthy. Shit is very worthy. Yeah, and just like another point on that, it's just all about growth. It's just all about growth. Are you growing right now? Are you aligned with your purpose? Are you doing the right thing? Are you helping something that is worthy of helping? I don't know, man. I just know your fucking soul knows, and you can feel that shit if you really pay attention. Playing dubstep in the background. I've been listening to a shit ton this week. Like, just playing a song on loop or whatever has brought me a lot of joy, even though I already talked about doing less of it in this episode. But it's been a lot of fun to just like loop a dubstep song over and over again. I'm probably this week I've listened to most of Lax's new remix album. What is it called? Fake Friends Remixed. So good. And actually the next point in here is the song that I'm most obsessed with, which is Fiends by Lax Crimer Remix. Holy fucking shit. This song is incredible. It is so damn good. Like it's already like on my top fucking most played of last 6 months or something like that. It's I think I'm already at 40 plays, which is like a lot for me. So especially in a couple days, it's been really, really enjoyable. Coffee, holy fuck. So way back when I used to like, I think it was episode 5 or whatever, I started talking about cacao nibs and how awesome they are. I don't eat cacao nibs anymore because I realized they had calories. I didn't know this before. I didn't realize how fucking high in calories they are and shit like that. So not partaking. However, coffee though, coffee is 2 calories. So fuck yeah to coffee. There all day for it, because, and not actually, just typically mornings. Even though sometimes like yesterday I'll fucking drink a coffee at like 9 p.m. or whatever, which is just such a dumb move. Don't do that, or else you're up till 4 a.m. or whatever I was yesterday. But I am obsessed with coffee. It is such a great feeling, and I just have to be cautious of my teeth and make sure I do things like charcoal and whitening and stuff like that, because I really, really don't want coffee teeth, and brushing teeth, of course. Just all that good shit to maintain, because I just actually enjoy the taste of coffee, and I don't drink. And the reasons why it's only 2 calories is just the coffee. Obviously no beans. It's just the fucking black coffee, nothing else, because I actually like coffee. Shout out mom. And yeah, coffee's beautiful, tastes delicious. I love that shit so much. I think it was cacao nibs that got me, that trained my taste buds essentially to enjoy the almost like a bitter taste of coffee. All right, that is 008. No, that's 009. That is 009, and that's a wrap. And I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you consuming. And yeah, if you thought this was enjoyable in any aspect, if you liked a lesson, if you liked one of the things I talked about in awesome or better, or I think it's called wins. Yeah, I call it wins now. And if you enjoyed, please share it with a friend. Leave it a like rating, comment wherever you are. Leave it a 5-star rating if you felt it, or a 4 or 3 or 2, 1. Whatever you feel like. I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. My name is Josh Moxey, and I will catch you later.